Hi, welcome to Ask Ellen. Real questions, real talk, real change. Today we're talking about something that you may not even know that you're doing. And that's why I want to bring it up. Because sometimes you're working, you're doing your things, and you just feel like you're making no progress whatsoever. You think you're doing everything right, and odds are you are. However, you might be making things just a little bit more tricky or a little bit harder for yourself, and it doesn't have to do that. I'm Ellen, and I'm a personal coach, and I like to help women get through the bumps and the hiccups in their lives so that they can have a happier life, an easier life, one that they can just relax in and enjoy. Over the years, I have taken on a lot. And it's not to say that I can't do it, and it's not to say that I shouldn't have done it, but there were times in my past that I have definitely made things harder than they needed to be. I've had a lot of clients that come to me and they're telling me about what's going on with them, and they're so tired, and they're just defeated, and they feel like they've failed. But here's the thing, they didn't fail, and they're not failing. You're not failing either. You just might be making things a little harder than they need to be. Today we're going to talk about 5 things that you might be doing right now that make whatever it is you're trying to do a little harder than it needs to be. And let's acknowledge it. Let's find out what these 5 things are so that maybe if you're doing one of them, you can tweak it a little bit so that things don't have to be quite so hard. Let's get into it. The first thing that you might be doing that is making things a little bit harder for you is that you're overthinking things. So many people fall into the habit of laying out all the problems that could, might, or possibly will pop up while you're doing something. You want to start a YouTube channel, but what if you don't have enough to say? What if you don't have a perfect background? What if? You bring up all these concerns, all these possible problems, and you start going over it in your head. Well, I need this, I need that. And you just develop this habit of finding a problem. What are you going to do about it? Well, maybe this will happen. Well, maybe I can do this instead. And so all this thinking about it, all these listing the problems, all these looking for the pitfalls before you get to them, all those things stop you from making any progress. It stops you from moving forward. It makes things harder for you because you're just not doing it. So in the long run, you end up looking back thinking, I still haven't done that thing that I wanted to do. With the example of starting a YouTube channel, there are so many things that could happen. I don't know them all, and I didn't know all of them when I started. I didn't know that my phone wouldn't work right, or that the lighting didn't look right. But if I let all those things stop me because I didn't know what was going to happen, I never would have started my channel. The thing is, you just have to start. All the overthinking ends up being a hurdle. And it's a hurdle that's not even there. It's a created one in your imagination. So if you can forget that it's even there, or even all these things that could happen with whatever it is that you're trying to do, if you stop overthinking and just start, now you've made progress. Now you'll see it's not as hard as it could be. It's not as hard as you were making it out to be. You just need to take that step instead of holding yourself back with all the overthinking that you're doing. The second thing that you might be doing that's making things harder for you is that you're trying to be perfect. But here's one thing you have to remember. No one is perfect. You can do the best you can at any given time with the information you have, with the talents that you have, with the ideas that you have. but you're never going to be perfect. When you're recording something like this, well, you can record it and then you get to edit it. And why am I editing my video? It's because I'm not perfect. I will never say that I'm perfect, but I do try my best. If I'm waiting for perfection, I need a crew of people to make this look perfect. That's not going to happen. So you get what you get. I'll go to a voice coach to make sure I'm speaking properly. I'll get rid of my entire Massachusetts accent. What are other things that I can do to make it perfect? God, I'd never get anything done. And that's why it makes it so much harder to do what you're doing if you're trying to be perfect. The best thing you can do is just be the best that you can at the moment you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. People appreciate when you try. People appreciate when you do the best you can. People appreciate when you can acknowledge the fact that you're not perfect. And when you don't expect perfection from yourself, it makes it so much easier to try other things. You want to try a new dessert and you've never done it before. Maybe you want to try a souffle, but you know if you do something wrong, it's going to sink. But what if you don't do it wrong? What if you make it wonderfully and it comes out great and it doesn't deflate? But if you want to be perfect, but you're not sure that you're going to be, you could be holding yourself back. And maybe you'll never be able to find out if you can make a souffle or not. But that's the thing you need to understand. Even if you do fail or you don't succeed in the way that you want, it doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means next time when you try, you'll do things a little differently. You'll tweak it here or tweak it there so that it comes out better. It still doesn't have to be perfect. You can be as perfect as you can, but absolute perfection does not exist. When you're constantly striving for perfection, that perfection ends up being pressure. And pressure is heavy. And when you feel heavy, things are harder to do. When you release that grip on trying to be perfect or trying to have perfection, you can breathe. You allow yourself to try. You allow yourself to make mistakes. And you allow yourself to try to be better next time. And that makes things a lot less harder on you. The third thing that you might be doing that's making things harder for you is that you're waiting for the right time. This is another thing that just isn't possible. You can do your best to do things at a good time. Maybe you don't go outside in your new bikini when it's 3 degrees below zero. Okay, maybe wait till it's a little warmer. The right time, the time to do it, I find is now. Always now. Or as close to now as possible. Because when you hold off, when you wait, I have to be 5 pounds lighter. I need to be a little stronger. Maybe when I get this, I can do that. When I have a better job, I can do this. You know what? When things calm down, we can do that instead. When I'm feeling more motivated, I'll get that done. When life is more settled, I'll be able to tackle that chore. When you're waiting for the right time, the thing is you don't know what that right time is. And if you think about it, if you're always waiting, that right time may never come. That right time is something that you're making up in your head. That right time is an idea, is a thought. But what if you didn't wait until the right time? What if you get an idea you do it. You want to start exercising, you start exercising. You want to start a YouTube channel, you just start a YouTube channel. What if you just do? What was it, Nike years ago that said just do it? Exactly. They wanted you to shove on the Nike sneakers and get going. Get it done. Just do it. And that's how I feel too. Because when you're waiting for the right moment, the right time, waiting for it to be perfect, again, look, we just talked about perfection, and here it is again. You're looking for the perfect time. That usually doesn't happen. Now, granted, there are better times than others, and I encourage you to find maybe the better time. A time when things will make it easier for you. A time when it makes sense. You don't record a video while you're driving because you need to pay attention to the road. You don't take dancing lessons when you have a broken knee. So, okay, yes, I get it. Sometimes you have to wait for the right time, but it's not waiting for the perfect time. Just the right time that is a common sense time. Just the better time that makes sense time. When you relieve yourself of the pressure of having the perfect moment, the perfect time, things will get a lot easier for you. Your choices become easier. You just do the thing that comes up that you want to do. When you put off too much, you may never get those things done. How many times have you heard, and I know that I've heard it a lot, so I'm sure you have too, but somebody who waits until retirement to travel the world, but comes down with an illness right as they're about to retire? How many times have you heard that they always wanted to do something, but they never got a chance? I know for myself, that's not how I want to live. And by waiting, it holds me back. When you wait, it holds you back. And then again, there's that pressure, that heaviness, that I'm never going to get it done because you're constantly waiting to be able to do something. A lot of that finding or waiting for the right time, you're doing because you're just not comfortable yet. But here's the thing. If you take the leap, take the class, start the channel, you just do it now, just do it as it comes in, that thought comes in and you just do it, you get over that fear. You get over not knowing what you're doing. And you realize that doing it now just saved you so much time because now you don't have to stress about it. The fourth thing you might be doing right now that's making things a little too hard for you is that you're taking on too much at once. If you've watched any of my previous videos, especially the one for setting goals, you'll understand that this is something that I hold dear. I talk to so many people in my coaching, and a common theme is that they take on too much. They want to do everything. They need to do this big, huge change. But here's the thing, when you put on too much, you want to change your routine, you want to change your habits, you got to have a different schedule, you're going to change your whole mindset. I'm eating better, I'm lifting weights, I'm exercising, I'm walking the dog 3 times extra, you add so many things, and if you haven't built up to that and you're just throwing it all on yourself at one time, it can be extremely overwhelming. And it's also a recipe for disaster. You're bound to fail because you haven't given yourself time to prep, to learn, to figure out what works and what doesn't work in your body, in your mind, in your heart. So that's why I really think that when you put too much on at once, you're totally making things too hard for yourself. That doesn't mean that you can't handle at some point a new routine, a new exercise, new goal weights, new lifting weights, new eating habits. Sure, you can have them all, but the thing is, do it incrementally. When you take it slow, one step at a time, work on your diet first, what you're eating, change those habits. And when you become comfortable in that, when you get to the point where you think, I don't have to think about this anymore, then you can incorporate a little bit of exercise. And again, start slow. And when you start incorporating it and you're feeling, yes, this makes sense, I'm okay with this, then you can add a little bit more. I call them tasks for myself, and you can call them whatever you want. But don't put too much on your plate at once. If you're not ready, it's too overwhelming. And when you just feel overwhelmed, again, you get that heaviness and it holds you down and it keeps you from moving forward. It definitely makes things harder for you, and it doesn't need to be that way. You are the person that's controlling this whole system here. How much you want to tackle is up to you. Can you handle it all? Only you know the answer to that. And if you are honest with yourself, maybe you'll realize that it might be too much that you're trying to tackle at once. If it is, if that you're just feeling like, oh, this is so overwhelming, take a step back and look at what you are putting on yourself. And maybe if you are feeling like things are overwhelming, you take a couple of those things away so that you don't have to feel that way, so that you can accomplish the things you want to do and just make it a little easier for yourself. And the fifth way that you might be making things a little bit too hard for yourself is that you're not asking for help. I did a video recently, and I'll link it below, that you need to ask for help. Or maybe not so need to, but it's okay to ask for help. I know in my past, I didn't. I thought it was a sign of weakness. I thought, no, I got this, I can do this. I didn't want people to think I was less than because I couldn't do it myself. I didn't want people looking at me and thinking that I'm a failure. I didn't want to feel like a failure. And yes, this could definitely be from some past issues from my childhood and growing up that I held on to. Thankfully, I have released those issues of trying to do it all myself. I'm happy to ask for help now. And even more so, I'm happy when I get helped. I know who I can ask for help, and I'm sure you do too. And the really nice thing is that when you do ask for help, that person is happy to help. That person is there to support you. And when you offer thanks for the help that they give you, they realize that they're appreciated as well. You don't need to carry it on all on yourself. You don't have to keep loading, because at some point you're just going to break. It's okay to ask for help. And in fact, when you ask for help, the load gets lighter. Things get easier. And you realize things don't have to be so hard. You don't have to make it so hard on yourself to try to get things done. When you take on too much, all you're doing is you're wearing yourself out. Why? For what good? It doesn't make you feel good if you are so exhausted that you can't then appreciate all the hard work you put into something. But when you get someone to help you, when you remember that it's okay to ask for help, that whole burden is less than. You can get things done and be proud of what gets done because you had that help. You can turn to your friend and say thank you, and they can see all that the two of you have done. Or if you have more people helping you, the crew. It's all good. Sure, I get it. Being vulnerable at first and asking the help for the first time is a little tricky. It is a little tough. But I guarantee that when you try, when you do it for the first time, I'm sorry to bother you, but can you help me with this? You'll realize that people want to help you. And you'll also realize that things just don't have to be so difficult for you. So let's bring it all together, shall we? What are the 5 things? Overthinking, perfection, waiting, doing too much, and also doing it all alone. It's not that life is hard, but if you put those 5 elements together, you're just making it harder for you. You're making it harder than it needs to be. Take a moment and just think. Are any of those 5 things something that you're doing right now? Is there a tweak that you can make to make things a little easier for you? If maybe you asked for help, if maybe you stopped overthinking and just started doing, if maybe you tackled just a little less, would it make things easier for you? Would it make things less hard for you? My hope for you is that you just make things easier for you. Stop making things harder than they need to be. Life is hard enough. You don't have to add to it. You don't need to add the stress to you. You don't need to add the stress to your life. I'm not expecting you to change everything right away, but if you did find something that clicked when you watched this video, I hope that you'll try to make a slight change so that things can be a little easier for you. Let me know if there's something that you're going to change. Put in the comments. If you have a friend that maybe is always stressed out and you know they've put too much on their plate, consider sharing this video with them. Give the video a like, please subscribe. This is Ask Ellen. Real questions, real talk, real change. I'll see you in the next one.